Uncle C, back in the office, and in today's video I'm going to be speaking on what to do if you are a man and you are struggling to accept female nature on all fronts. What do you do if you're a man and you've been dumped, heartbroken, confused, cheated on? What do you do if you're jaded? What do you do if you're actually trying to find your way through all of this? And what do you do if you're starting from ground zero? Okay, I formally understand that this is not only a hard topic and a lot of bitter truths for most men to swallow, but what I'm going to be breaking down is not only some time-proven sequences and some time-proven tactics that you can take from this whiteboard. You can copy-paste these into your actual life. You can go and get results with it, right? Not only am I going to be showing you that, but I'm going to be backing this up by real-life stories. Because not only have I myself had one hell of a self-improvement journey, but here's what I can tell you. After working with thousands and thousands and thousands of men, I have seen firsthand testimonials. I have a vault of thousands of testimonials that give me proof to continue this mission inside Headman Nation every single day that lets me know that the stuff that I'm talking about is going to continue to have impact on your life, and that's why I do it. Fellas, let's dive in. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Zander. I'm the founder of Headman, and I'm here to revitalize masculinity and help make men full stack. So, what do you do? Casey, I'm struggling accepting female nature. What do you do? Well, the first thing that we have to address, the first thing I need to explain, the first thing you have to come to terms with is you need patience. Some of you are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You want to fix it right now? I want to fix it right now, Casey. How do I accept the truth right now in this one video? Dude, you can't. Like, I'm going to be backing this up with so many stories, but if you seriously look at how I started within my life, not to make this about me, this is formally about you, but the questions you have to ask yourself is like, why are you in a rush? Maybe you come to terms with these truths and it takes you until you're 35 to fully get a grasp on it. So what? Life is long. And if you can operate with this mindset that life is long, and you know what, it might hurt today, but come hell or high water, maybe it takes 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. I am going to get better. What I can tell you is time heals all wounds. Some of you were dumped or heartbroken last week. Some of you are going to be dumped or heartbroken today. Some of you were dumped or heartbroken 2 years ago. It doesn't matter. As a grown-ass man, it is your responsibility to improve. Come to terms with the data that you have came to terms with and logistically sort this out and figure this out for yourself, but it requires patience. Nothing that hurts right now in the moment is going to hurt as bad a year from now or 2 years from now. It's just a fact. Life is long and time heals all wounds. So, the older you get, the quicker you have the opportunity to climb your SMV peak. We have to understand this for a second. When I say SMV peak, a man's value rises with age. We know this. I have multiple testaments of this to my own life. I'm going to show you in the middle of this column how this pertains to my own life, but I'm going to back this up even with stories, okay? Your SMV peak, meaning your potential to get to the top, your potential to be an attractive man, will rise if you make the adjustments mentally, physically, psychologically that you are going to put in the work to develop yourself into the type of man that can command options. So, what do I mean by this? There are so many men trying to hack the system. What I mean by that is they are trying to understand game to a degree that they have to oversell themselves. They're trying to understand language patterns to speak to women and to communicate, to hopefully build these false attachments. When it comes to attraction, you either are or you aren't. Which means I love that you take the time investing into female nature and understanding this stuff, but for the majority of your life, you have to structure yourself to become full stack. You have to structure yourself to become at your SMV peak. I'm going to tell you one thing. Let's dive into the three things right here. Number one, the 8 years that I've spent in the gym building my body, the thousands of workouts, the thousands of reps of bench press, to craft a physique, you can't take those 8 years away from me. It doesn't matter who you are. There is hard-nosed strength that was built there from a body and from a physique that was extremely weak. You can't take that away from me. That physique and that muscle maturity will stick with me for my life, and it's because I chase getting to my SMV peak. The second opportunity I want to show you, some of you give up on your dreams and on your purpose far too easy. Let me tell you something. The 951 videos that you see up on this channel, nobody can take that away from me because that was hard-nosed work. You understand, this was hard-nosed work through the years. My purpose was built, my income was built, my lifestyle was built from the ground up with zero help. You can't take those character traits away from me. The hundreds of approaches I had to do to learn game, the heartbreaks I had to go through, the ways of speaking to women, the attachments that I had to learn how to build, you cannot take those relationships away from me. But the difference is that I actually stuck my nose out there and I went and I told myself I would climb into my SMV peak. You see, I could have stayed the same guy. You're making a conscious decision every single day if you're going to stay who you are versus if you're actually going to grow and you're going to evolve. You are making that decision. I made choices in my life. I made choices in my life that even if you took these things away from me, you could not take away the character traits of dedication, sacrifice, and resilience that I had to encounter to craft myself into a man. You are built. Every single day you choose to indulge in sloth-like behavior and not build the man, you are genuinely shooting yourself in the foot from what your potential in your SMV could be. Let's make that very clear. You are stripping yourself of your potential. So a lot of you talk about frame, masculine frame. How do you have frame? Well, to set the frame, not even the frame that a woman enters into that you're dating, but I'm talking the frame in your own life. Like the house you live in, the way you operate, the way you run business, the way you communicate, who you are. This takes years. This takes years to set a frame. A true frame where a woman who comes into that life can tell that you either are or you aren't. So you as a man can become attractive where you don't have to rely on every game tactic. You as a man can improve your life to the point where you can cheat the system. So most have work to do. This is what you have to come to terms with. If you're in this mode of patience, you have work to do. I know a lot of you are wondering why I can speak so fluently on these topics. I've noticed a lot of you say, Casey, you don't say you don't stutter, you talk extremely well when it comes to this. There's a reason. It's because I've been there, done that. The 8 years in the gym, the 8 years on my YouTube channel, the 8 years in my business, these things you can't take away from me. The reason why the message is conveyed the right way is because there's a difference between a man who has done it and a man who hasn't. So, here's where hypergamy comes into play. Here's where stepping into an accepting female nature comes into play. There are stepping stones when you self-improve that will show that you can win despite hypergamy. So, let's get back to the story in red over here that I did not say. When I was younger, I had to do a lot of approaching. When I was younger, I had to speak to the women first. For one of the first times in my life, right, last week, there's an extremely attractive woman, Instagram level model quality, and she DMs me first. That has never happened. In the past, if I've ever spoken to a woman, it's been me initiating. I don't know if the woman found value in this channel. I don't know if the woman found value in my messages spreading. Whatever it was, she had interest in me first. So out of the sea of direct messages, she messages. That only happens when you actually understand the stepping stones to winning with hypergamy. So, let me give you some examples. When I was first starting in my self-improvement journey or becoming a man or becoming a strong man, fitness was the #1 thing that I had to get on point. I did not lose the V card until I was fit. Until I had wide shoulders, until I had a carved out chest, until I built my physique, it was hard for me to convey any sort of market value. It was hard for her to get aroused. So that was the first time when I mastered this one thing. I was like, okay, like at least like the physical presence, there's something there where a woman should take interest. So I got that on point and it worked. It was a stepping stone. And what happened was the 95% of other men who maybe were more well-rounded or had better social skills, they didn't have this one aspect. And all of a sudden I had lower body fat, a better jawline, and ultimately better muscle maturity that showed I was the SMV fit. But I didn't stop there. I kept going. I was like, So I looked the part a little bit, but I can't speak that well. I might as well learn how to master my charisma and game. I might as well learn how to work my words to encompass genuine desire out of a woman. So right here, mastering my fitness, I was already probably in the top 5 percentile of most men as far as looks or as far as like having a chiseled physique. I worked really hard, I looked really damn good. But then when I started to communicate better, it's like, okay, now I just realized this was like one of the fastest I've ever had. Like within 45 to 50 minutes, me and this woman were all of a sudden getting busy and ready to go. That was the first time where I noticed, okay, it's like, so maybe now I'm in like the top 3% of men. Not only do I look good, but I can speak. And no, I'm not 6'5", but I'm working with the best that I have. Okay, then I focused for 3, 4, 5 years here on building my business, building my brand, building who I am. One of the first times, now a woman sliding into my direct message inbox first. What I can tell you is the more you keep it moving, the more you keep self-improving, the greater chances you will have of actually having the lifestyle and the relationship that you want. So for the first time in my life, now I'm able to command stable LTRs with virtually any woman that I choose, because it is getting harder and harder for that woman to replicate the character traits that she sees in a man. So here's what I can tell you. When you accept female nature and you understand these two things right here, patience and stepping stone productivity, here's what will happen. I have a motto, and the motto is, I love hypergamy because I win. I was willing to go to the lengths to beat the system. So the reason why I love it is because if you put in the work to get to the top, which is far easier, like you're gonna suffer regardless. This 8 years right here that I suffered building my brand, building my body, building my business, building my purpose, you have to understand one thing. I could suffer doing that, or I was just going to suffer being miserable having 0 options. You're gonna suffer regardless. You might as well choose your hard. You might as well become full stack, become part of Headman Nation, join my newsletter down below right away too, so you can get some exclusive content. But you get what I'm saying? You might as well become it. Become the attractive man. So once you crack this code, you'll love hypergamy because it works in your favor. So what's the last step to this, and why do so many guys struggle with these first 2 aspects? Well, here's why. They're rejecting masculine competence. Okay, what is masculine competence? Well, competence means that you're smart. You're able to figure things out. There's moving components to a whole. You have to be able to take yourself out of that hole. You look at it. You say, which pieces of my life can I reassemble to become full stack, and how can I fix this? So what masculine competence is you being smart. And this isn't stuff you can learn in school. This really isn't stuff you can learn from your parents. For once in your life, you have to be a leader of your own life, and you have to think for yourself. You have to figure it out. For some of you who say, I exited the game and I've given up, you've given up on what could be your SMV peak and your potential. The only person that you're shorting is yourself, and you know that deep down. When you see a video like this and you see a before picture like mine, you know that you were probably blessed with the exact same hand. The difference is if you're willing to go to the lengths to fix it or not. So, advice, don't be scared to win. When you assume masculine competence, you say, I'm gonna get smart, I'm gonna figure it out. A lot of you guys are scared to win. Winning feels great once you've put in the work. It's like you get to reap the fruits of your labor. So, what mental framework do we come from? Well, we come from the mental frame that nobody is higher value than us. Nobody is more important than us right now to fix these things, because guess what? If we aren't fixed, if we don't come from the mindset of high value, there's no way, if we can't fix ourselves, there is 0 value we can give to the world to help other people. This whole channel, because I was so selfish for so many years, because I was so focused on me, I've been able to now give back to 185,000 of you. That has impact because my mental frame was that I come first and nobody is higher value than me. So here's what happens when you put all of this together. You will actually start to love life. You will find your purpose. And to give you an example that I can't talk about on this channel quite yet, because I'm not ready to make claims like this, I have a 20-year goal. I'm 25 right now. I have a goal by the time I'm 45 to do something extravagant and something extreme and something that's going to take years of work, because it can't be replicated without the grit. These are hard-nosed traits for 15 minutes we just went at. And if any of these topics on the back of this whiteboard made sense to you, I advise you to do one thing specifically. Not only do I advise you to choose your hard, because you're going to suffer regardless, but I highly advise you to go down below and watch the MBT webinar. I just brand new shot this for 2022. If you are brand new to MBT, Masculine Behavioral Techniques, this, fellas, is an exact step-by-step process that you can use with the 4 keys to not only accept female nature, but to actually attract and keep the woman that you've always desired. If you have never seen this webinar, if you have never actually heard of this webinar, I highly advise you to go down below, opt into that training, and watch it end to end. It's going to be one of the best 1-hour presentations of your life, and you're going to walk out of that with so much belief because you've seen other men who are in similar situations as you. That's step 1. Step 2, I want you to go down below and subscribe to my Headman Nation newsletter. There is backstage access and VIP level access along with challenges and different communities where I interact one-to-one with you guys that you cannot find on this channel. The reason why you cannot find it is because you have to be on my exclusive mailer list to get to the specific web pages that I show that you can be part of these things that I have set up for you. Those are the 2 pages I want you to visit down below right now. Fellas, I genuinely hope that this video helped you. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to comment and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.